welcome back to our part 2 of this lesson. In this section, we will cover essay structure, introductions, hooks, thesis statements, parallelism, the SEER paragraph, and Walter's full body paragraph model with real source integration and citations. So let's begin. Now that Walter understands the purpose of informative writing, he is ready to begin planning his essay. This is where some students make their first mistake. They immediately start writing and they forget that there are other stages in the writing process. There is no planning. There is no organization. What is their roadmap? Imagine trying to complete a 1,000-piece puzzle without first looking at the pieces or identifying patterns. You should probably waste a lot of time. Writing works somehow in the same way. Strong essays are organized before they are written. Thus, we must specify that most informative essays contain 3 major parts: the introduction, the body paragraphs, and the conclusion. Think of these 3 stages in the reader's journey. The introduction prepares readers. The body paragraphs develop understanding, and the conclusion helps readers step back and see the complete picture. When these 3 parts work together, the essay becomes easier to read and easier to understand. So now let's begin with the introduction. A strong introduction does 3 important things. First, it captures attention. Second, it provides context. Third, it introduces the thesis statement. Together, these elements help readers understand what the essay will discuss and why the topic matters. Let's use Walter's essay as an example. Walter has chosen to write about artificial intelligence. Before discussing automation, data analysis, or personalized technology, he must first introduce the topic because his readers need context, they need orientation, they need a reason to care. That's exactly what the introduction provides. Think of the introduction as the first conversation between the writer and the reader. The quality of that conversation often determines whether readers remain engaged. So let's begin with the first component of the introduction, the hook. Let's help Walter choose a hook. Take a moment and look at the 3 options on the screen. Which one do you think is the most effective? I'll give you a few seconds. Pause. If you chose option C, you are correct. Let's examine why. Option A is too general. Option B is still very broad. Neither creates much curiosity. However, option C makes readers wonder, really? How? A strong hook creates interest. It encourages readers to continue. It opens the door to the discussion that follows. However, a hook should do more than simply attract attention. It should connect naturally to the topic. Remember, the goal is not entertainment for its own sake. The goal is preparing readers for understanding. Now that Walter has selected a hook, he needs the most important sentence in the essay, the thesis statement. If there is one concept I want you to remember from today's lesson, it is this. The thesis statement is the most important sentence in the essay. Let's return to our puzzle analogy. Imagine trying to assemble a puzzle without seeing the image on the box. Could you eventually complete it? Perhaps, but it would be much more difficult. It is the picture on the box that provides direction. It helps you understand what you're building. So a thesis statement serves the same purpose. It tells readers what the topic is, what aspects of the topic will be discussed, and what larger picture should emerge by the end of the essay. Pay attention here. Without a thesis, readers see pieces. However, with a thesis, readers begin to see the picture. Walter now needs a thesis that clearly identifies the focus of his essay. Let's see how he does that. One of the most important problems in student writing involves parallelism. Parallelism means expressing ideas using the same grammatical structures. Let's examine Walter's first attempt. Artificial intelligence affects automation, how people analyze data, and personalized technology. Notice the problem here. There are three ideas, but they are not parallel. We have automation, how people analyze data, personalized technology. The structure changes, but strong thesis statements maintain consistency. Now, look at the revised version. Artificial intelligence is transforming society through automation, data analysis, and personalized technology. Notice the symmetry here. All 3 points are noun phrases. The structure is balanced, so writing feels clearer and more professional. Most importantly, the thesis now provides 3 clear body paragraphs. Let's see how that works. Many students struggle with body paragraphs because they think they need to invent ideas after writing the thesis. In reality, the thesis provides the outline. Look at Walter's thesis. Artificial intelligence is transforming society through automation, data analysis, personalized technology. Those 3 points immediately become 3 body paragraphs. Body paragraph 1 discusses automation. Body paragraph 2 discusses data analysis, and body paragraph 3 discusses personalized technology. This is why a strong thesis statement is so valuable, because it guides both the reader and the writer. Now, we need to discuss how those body paragraphs should be developed. And this is where seer enters the picture. At this point, we need to discuss body paragraph development. And I want to emphasize something very important. Seer is not a paragraph template. Seer is a development strategy. Many students mistakenly believe that a paragraph should contain 1 statement, 1 piece of evidence, 1 explanation, and 1 reflection, and they're finished. Well, that is not college-level development. Strong body paragraphs are often much longer. They contain multiple pieces of evidence, multiple explanations, detailed discussion. Seer simply provides the organizational framework. Let's review each component. The statement introduces the main idea. The evidence provides support. The evidence may include research studies, surveys, expert interviews, statistics, case studies, historical examples, or reports. Then the explanation comes in, which helps readers understand what the evidence means. This is where writers connect information to understanding. And finally, the revisit returns to the paragraph's central point. Notice that we said revisit, not reflection, because in informative writing, we are not discussing personal feelings. Instead, we return to the main idea and reinforce it using the evidence and explanation we have already presented. Now, let's see how Walter develops an actual body paragraph. Let's examine a well-developed Sears paragraph. Notice that this paragraph includes multiple forms of evidence and narrative citations. Let's read the statement. Artificial intelligence is transforming society through automation. Let's continue with the evidence. The Stanford Institute for Human-Centered Artificial Intelligence reported in its 2025 AI Index that 78% of organizations used artificial intelligence in 2024, a significant increase from previous years. Similarly, the World Economic Forum 2025 explained that advances in artificial intelligence and automation are expected to continue reshaping workplace tasks across industries. Public perceptions reflect these developments as well. According to the Pew Research Center 2025, both experts and members of the public recognize that artificial intelligence is likely to influence the future of work, although they differ in their level of optimism about its impact. Providing an expert perspective, computer scientist Fei Li argued in an interview with McKinsey & Company that artificial intelligence should be viewed as a tool that can augment human capabilities rather than simply replace workers. Now, let's continue with the explanation part. Together, these sources provide multiple perspectives on automation. The Stanford AI Index provides evidence of growing adoption. The World Economic Forum identifies workplace trends. The Pew Research Center survey illustrates public perceptions, and Fei Li offers expert interpretation. Examining these different types of evidence helps readers develop a more complete understanding of how automation is influencing modern society. The evidence also demonstrates that automation is not limited to a single industry. Instead, it affects businesses, educational institutions, healthcare organizations, and countless other sectors. As a result, artificial intelligence is becoming an increasingly important part of daily life and professional practice. Let's continue with the revisit part. Taken together, these findings illustrate how automation has become one of the most visible applications of artificial intelligence. The growing adoption of automated systems across organizations, combined with expert analysis and public awareness, demonstrates that automation is already transforming how people work and interact with technology. Notice something important. This paragraph is not 5 sentences long. It is developed and it uses multiple forms of evidence. It explains that evidence thoroughly and it revisits the central claim. This is the level of development we should strive for in college writing. At this point, Walter has completed a strong body paragraph. But where did all those sources come from? And how do we know which sources are appropriate? Those questions lead us directly into the next section of our lesson, where we'll examine the different types of evidence and learn how strong informative writers build credibility through source selection.